Am I the astronaut for stealing a cake from Coldstone? Today is my 21 female brother's 17 male birthday, and we ordered him a cake from Coldstone days ago. We wanted there to be writing on the cake, standard happy birthday with his name, and the cake was $65. Today, when we went to pick it up, the employee, probably in his teens, went to go get the cake, and when he came back, he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, it looks like the frosting got a little messed up." And then we looked at the cake. The cake was laughable. It looked like it had been written by a 5-year-old, and the fact that they charged $65 for it was a crime. Cake in question? It says, "Happy birthday, CJ?" Question mark.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, look, I worked in the bakery at Smitty's, then Albertsons, and I only did the piping writing when it was an emergency, but I could do better than that. I was pretty bad at it. So anyways, we were like, absolutely not. We're not taking this cake. You cannot give this to a customer. The employee kept saying, "I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do." So we asked to speak to a manager. He said there was no manager there. So we asked if he could call them. He said that he didn't have their number. I'm sorry, you're alone in the store and you don't have your manager's number? So he called his bluff and said, "Well, what if there's an emergency?" And he said, "This isn't an emergency." Yeah, we get that, but do you have his number? We noticed in the cake freezer that you can just go grab cakes out of there. There was an identical cake with no writing on it, so my stepdad said, "Okay, we're just going to take this cake because we're not taking the cake," and we still paid for one. The employee said we couldn't do that, but with cake in hand, we said, "Then call your manager." He refused, so we left with the blank cake and left the other one there. Edit for clarity. This was out of the freezer the general public can take a cake out of. This was not someone else's cake. It was just one for general sale. And without writing on it, it was probably cheaper than the one that they had already paid for. It's still the same cake that we paid for. We just didn't want to take the one someone had butchered. We had a feeling the employee was the one who did it and didn't want to call his manager because he knew it was so bad and his fault. But you cannot expect someone who paid $65 for a cake to take that home. Are we the assholes for taking the other cake from the freezer? You were only the asshole, OP, for a misleading title.
Yeah, you did not steal a cake.
You didn't steal no cake.
You paid for the cake, and you took the cake that you paid for.
You clickbaited us, you bitch.
Who wrote that?
The title or that?
Both.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you could be an asshole to the Coldstone Creamery kid for his writing, but your writing ain't much better with that title.
If you're going to pay $65 for a cake, at least get your employees like a stencil or something that they can that was bad. I mean, that's bad. The J was crooked.
I don't even know that it was a J.
I'm not really
I don't
sure.
know that it was a C. It was like an E without the middle line. I was like, whoa, what's happening here? It was laughable, and as you know, as an admin, or if I were the owner of that business, I would be so fucking embarrassed that I had an employee
100%.
try to force someone to take that home. Not even try to pass it off as passable, but try to force somebody to take it home. And then when they were like, "Yeah, we're not gonna take that. We'll take this identical cake that you didn't f up that's in the freezer for general sale right here." And he's like, "Oh, you can't do that." I'm like, really?
Because that means he has to explain why he has this cake that says
Yes.
"Happy Birthday, CJ."
Yeah, so he's got to go. Well, the smart move on his part right now would be to take it back to the back and make a work of art. But
Just scrape it off and smooth out the icing. And
unfortunately, these would-be customers already took a photo of your blunder, so you're dude.
it lives forever on the internet.
The one thing you could have done differently here, OP, and I'm really, really, really sad you didn't do, is to drop a quarter or a dollar in their jar. Because anytime you drop anything in that jar, they have to sing and dance.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing.
At Coldstone?
At Coldstone.
I've dropped money in there. I've never seen a song.
They're
and dance.
supposed to, well, at least sing, maybe not dance. Help me out. Do you guys?
Welcome to
That's a thing, right? That's a thing. Yeah. No, I think if you put anything in there, they have to break out in song. There's a whole comedy bit about it.
I don't even know.